Discretion is advised.
You know my name.
Hello.
Hi.
Oh Lord.
Hey, everybody.
Oh wow.
You okay, man?
Yeah, I'm always good. Are you asking her if she's okay?
No, I'm talking to you.
Yeah, I'm good.
We've got Deborah Borza here, and we should have Jay here pretty soon, too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm ready to listen to see what's going on tonight.
Yeah. I want to get, well, I don't know. We can wait for her, but. Well, I know you probably want to talk about the Jonah Rief case at least a little bit, right?
Yes.
I know that, it's been a while since we had Jay up here, and also we have a lot more subscribers now than we had before.
I put my hot dog on a plate so I will only get the crumbs on the plate.
Okay, that's a great idea. Yeah, we have a lot more subscribers now than when we had Jay up here, and so if you would give us a very brief just recap of what went down with the Jonah Rief case. What is it? What happened?
Okay. Jonah's mom's name is Tammy Reef. She was an actress. She had a career in Hollywood. Her and her sister did together.
Mm-hmm.
She met this man, I believe, I'm trying to think, and I want to say 2007, and she started to date him. Well, things didn't work out. He moved to Fiji. She was here in the States. She met somebody else. She got pregnant. Brian stayed in the life after talking to Jonah's father, which I still do not know his name. Tammy doesn't reveal for his own safety.
Mm-hmm.
But basically after that, Brian was still like in the picture. He would, ask them, hey, can I ask sometimes how the baby is, etc. And then he went behind her back and like falsified legal documents saying that he was Jonah's father.
Mm-hmm.
And
this man has no relation to Jonah or Tammy at all?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
And so anyways, to make matters even worse, Jonah would start coming home covered with bruises. He was getting sexually molested. Very graphic details he told his mother. And basically, she was in the process of getting custody and everything in Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
During this time, Brian Sullivan had Tammy kidnapped. She was unable to show up for court. Matter of fact, he got her charged with kidnapping.
Oh, wow.
When your child tells you that something's so explicit that somebody does to you, you're going to do what you need to do to protect them, number one.
Of course.
And then, that's when she went to Alabama, tried to get help. And for some reason, California's order overtook Alabama's order at the time. And Brian Sullivan got custody of Jonah, and she has not seen him since. We do know Jonah was taken to Australia, but the embassies have not heard from him. So we don't even know where he is. It's very sad.
How do you know that he was taken to Australia?
I called the embassy myself when I got involved. I started getting involved in about 2018. And I said, well, let me call the embassy. So when I called, they had confirmed for us that he was brought there, but, he's never left. They don't know anything about him. So it's pretty sad. And I mean, myself, I've looked into the things that Tammy Reef have said, and personally, everything checks out the way that she has told things. Our own government has known about satanic rituals that are real in the world, since the late 1990s. These things I feel are important for people to know because you have to protect your children. I'm even concerned now how they offer DNA tests. I mean, is that going to be a problem down the road? People know, oh, you're so-and-so's relative. You might be good for this. Or, I mean, you just never know what goes through someone's head.
Yeah. And, that has to do with blood types and gene hunting and all that kind of thing, too.
Yes.
Gina just came in. Here she is.
Yeah, I just
Oh, good.
Hey.
Hi.
We're still waiting on Jay. I was just having her give us a little bit of a rundown about the Jonah Rief.
Yeah. Did you send a message to Jay? I think she knew.
Link.
Okay, she's got the link. Good.
Yeah.
Jay's always late.
It's nice to put a face to the voice because we did talk on the phone. And
exactly. And it's amazing what you guys are doing. Honestly.
Thank you. It's a rough road. It's a pretty brutal, savage world out there. And
it really is.
It really
is.
Yeah. So
it's awesome.
So you're Jonah's mom's friend. You know Tammy pretty well.
Since
Are you cutting out? There you go.
I'm sorry.
yeah, you cut out for a second.
Did you hear me?
Sorry. Yes.
Okay. How long have you known her? How do you guys know each other and all that?
I started getting involved in this because I've always had like a lot of friends on Facebook, and people started sending me like random videos of girls that were trafficked, they were being killed, etc. And I don't know, but our paths crossed somewhere along, all of this. And, Tammy's a really good person. I feel really sorry for her.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
We would like to have her up here sometime if she sees this and feels comfortable. Tell her.
Yeah, definitely. I know most of the time we have to talk through encryption because we were on Wicker and someone hacked us.
Through Wicker?
Yeah.
Through Wicker?
Wow.
Yeah.
What happened from that?
I've heard it can be done.
Then we arranged another encrypted site that we use. So far it's been okay.
Yeah.
But all of my information kept getting deleted. She wasn't getting it. I was like, I don't know what's going on. But
so she's that much in fear and hiding because her son is missing, and it's that high profile for it. For it to be so high profile, no one talks about it.
Nope.
And, I mean, we are pretty deep in this. We were some of the first people that were helping to decode the Podesta emails. That's how deep in this we are. And we have never heard of Jonah. So I was pretty shocked when Jay came and approached me and told me about it.
Yeah, I know, because, there are things, I mean, if we all know, our government wants to keep us divided because if people really know everything that's going on, they're going to be mad,
Right.
And the way to shut us up is shutting you down or, not having the media tell things that people deserve to know.
Right.
Right. And I mean, there's companies that actually pay people to make people like us look bad.
Oh yeah, they have
which is happening to us.
They have entire packages. You can pay for stalking. You can pay for entire character assassination, they call it.
Yeah, character assassination is like
that's awful.
Job titles.
Apparently, it's big
that
business.
you get paid for. It's wild. I didn't even know those companies existed until recently. A lady, Gigi, showed me.
Yeah, Melissa Hart, I did. I think I used your mama to help do that. Somebody else went out. Technical difficulties.
Yeah.
We are having technical difficulties. That always happens.
As soon as
Okay.
as soon as Melissa Hart came in there, it happened there. So.
Hey, show your
Yeah,
shirt.
but
Everybody wants to see
there.
my shirt, so I'll show it. Make pedophiles cry again. That's why we're here, is for a movement to make pedophile lives uncomfortable again.
Who's coming online? Somebody's online.
Oh, that would
that'd
be
be
Jay.
Jay. There
Hi,
we go.
Jay.
Hi guys, sorry for the lateness, but I was trying to figure out like how the hell y'all do this.
Yeah. It takes a little while for people to get into, so that's good.
Especially on here.
I know I get howdy y'all. You got me with the southern accent. That wasn't stuck in my head all day. The southern accent.
Yeah.
I know you're so New Yorker, Bronxy. kind of-
Exactly, I am.
Yeah, you are.
Cool deal. So I'm going to be listening, guys, but I'm filling out a contract right now.
Okay.
Actually, I've got a contract I'm going to be doing too, but I'm listening to you guys. I'll pop in and out.
Hey, read it.
Make sure you read it first.
Read it. Read it.
Oh,
Read
I
it.
will. I'll read it. Thank you, guys. Hey, I'll be right back.
All right.
So we were just having Deborah to give a little rundown of the case, like what we know so far, because a lot of people haven't heard of this case. We hadn't heard of this case until you were on our live a couple weeks ago. So, and there's a lot of new people since then, a lot of new subscribers who have no idea what's going on. So we were just, having a little bit of a rundown about the Jonah Rief case and why it's important.
I would like to add too that this is the first time Jay and Deborah are actually communicating through us trying to hook this up, and they're both working very hard to find Jonah. So this should be awesome.
Yeah.
You guys are just
Deb's very awesome. Deb's very awesome, and she's a sweetheart, and she's good at what she does, and she's very helpful, and this case is very covered up, like Deborah said. Yeah. So she's blacklisted like me as a whistleblower.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jay. Back at you.
Right back at you.
So how long have both of you been on the Jonah case?
Well, I've been on the case since 2016, so I'm following leads, and from my conclusion, it links back to the politicians in the Capitol building in Washington, D.C.
Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts on that, Deborah? And how long have you been part of the Jonah case?
I became involved in like 2018. My thoughts are pretty much yes. A lot of good reads out there if people think that, this is all conspiracy theory, etc. You know what? Anybody can go on WikiLeaks and type in Jonah Rief and tell me what they find.
Mm-hmm. And I will do that.
The traffic of Brian Sullivan, sorry, Deb, but what she's saying is that Brian Sullivan, the guy that trafficked Jonah, his name shows up. Jonah shows up now because of the Maxwell, everything's going down. CNN, yes, CNN. Zucker, his resignation has happened because Jonah's case is coming out. And now, I don't know if it's traffickers or whoever's connected to the emails, but it seems like these are the people involved, like, she showed me there's hundreds of them, and it seems like these people are connected to trafficking Tammy's son, and they're on WikiLeaks. And yes, Jonah Rief now shows up.
Right.
It's IEF, isn't it? IEF.
She showed me, and Deb can explain it more.
Most of their were in an Excel file, PDF. And yeah, it was kind of like, it's one of those things, the internet is protected by free speech.
Right.
And then we have free speech doesn't mean people tell you the truth, you know?
Right.
And
Right.
then, you know, you have people that see what they're trying to tell people without alarming or, you know, causing an issue that may not be a good thing. I mean, you just never know what can happen. But
Right.
it's like, I think people really need to start taking this very serious. You know, you have a kid, no, you teach your kid at a young age about how to protect themselves.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You know, you start teaching people things about, you know, good touch, bad touch, have that trust in you if
Right.
something would ever happen. I mean, right?
Exactly. I mean, part of
Yeah.
what Predator Hunter Nation is you know, trying to move people to start like training their kids in self-defense and
Yeah.
speak and feel comfortable about speaking their truth, you know, because I mean, goodness, we had a coach over here at the high school that was just busted for distributing kiddie porn. Like, is that our community's kids and that porn that he was selling? Like, what's going on here? And as communities, we have to start talking about this stuff, you know, and actually doing something about it rather than just bitching about it, kind of thing, you know?
That's right.
Right.
And then the other issue is, you know, what people don't realize, a lot of these people that, you know, take pictures of kids and sell it over the internet, what they don't realize, a lot of these people just kind of get up on a wrist, you know, oh, you have a $500 bond. Okay,
Right.
for 3 years. What they did was possibly create a criminal for ruining that child.
Yeah.
You know,
Hey, Deborah, you're kind of breaking up a little bit.
Yeah, it's pretty choppy.
Yeah, it's pretty choppy.
sorry. Is this better?
Yeah.
I think so.
Much better, Deb.
Yeah, your energy is like breaking the signal because you're moving around, I think. And you're passionate about this. And I do find that when I'm on the phone and passionate about something, signals kind of get weird
Yeah.
Right.
because energy's energy.
One thing I want to put into persistence is the grooming of children online, especially Facebook and stuff. Parents, let me tell you this. You need to get involved in your kid's life. I don't give a damn whether they get mad. These child predators are trying to groom your kids.
Yep.
And if you're trying to be their friends and not parents, I mean, you're at fault for that because your kids need parents, not friends. You know, so I'm also doing this project where we want to create something to give the parents the tools to fight child grooming online. So that's something else in the works that I'm doing with many people, which I can't name their identity because they're whistleblowers themselves for the safety. But that's what I'm involved with now. You know,
well, we
like I
just
said,
experienced these trained groomer kids that groomed our kid, and it's awful. And we experienced it. We caught it because we are observant of our kids' lives, you know, and it was caught. And, you know, it's just crazy. It opened up this whole world of these kid groomers that have like these Ohio connections, trafficking like cities in Ohio all the way in, you know, really absolute nowhere, Cott County. You know, I mean, this is like rural, I mean, Appalachia, like everything you ever saw about rural Appalachia, that's what this town is. Like, we got a Walmart and we got 2 food cities, like a mile from each other. You know, that's like it. You know, we don't have, we have, you know,
Well, you know,
stuff.
you're talking about rural areas, and here's the thing: small towns and little areas. It's like when you go to the cities, it's a lot different. In the cities, you know, it's expected, but you wouldn't expect it in like Appalachian and in places in the mountains like that, especially with people who grew up in You know, they don't just put up with that kind of thing. They don't, that ain't something you see every day.
Right.
But if you look at it, it's the perfect place for it because it's not expected. It's not expected. So it's the enemy hides within our society. And one good thing I've been doing, and I've been adding to my curriculum even more, is the fact that child predators not only groom children, but they groom you, the people, into not believing children when it's actually brought out. They actually train people not to believe. And they may say, oh, buddy, that kid don't know what they're talking about. They're stupid. They're ignorant. You know good and well that didn't happen. You know me, buddy. I didn't do that. That right there, from that point about it and everything, that's a lead. That's a lead. And when the lead happens, it's just like them putting a collar on you and snapping a lead or leash to you and saying, hey, just follow me on this,
Well, that's where, that's where a lot of the infiltration of the Q and all that stuff came from. Not the original movement itself, but the people that infiltrated it, because, you take a good thing, you take a good movement, and then you want to try to twist it and make it look dumb. But then you can refer back to that when something real comes along, like trafficking, like anything like that. And then everybody looks stupid for even talking about it.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
It's like anonymous. Anybody could be anonymous, but the original Anons were doing something good.
Right.
And then they got infiltrated. And same with Black Lives Matter. Like, yeah, there was something, that needed to be said and brought to the surface, but then it gets infiltrated
by Antifa,
controlled opposition.
And then, when you do that, like Black Lives Matter, when it first started, I talk to people about this today, even to the day, especially when we go to these rallies and we go to these big protests, and they're like, when it started off, it was actually something good, but when something that's good, evil comes and infiltrates it. When it's infiltrated, then it spreads that disease, it spreads that sickness, and then it just turns into something, that agenda. It's a lead. It's just another lead.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And like a lot of parents, I don't know if you realize that all the social media, all that, it asks to track your location.
Yeah.
So parents have to go like into their kids' phone settings and shut. It's so easy for them to hack into their.
Deborah, you're breaking up again where it's like silence.
Yeah.
Sorry. Wow. Matt. No, I just said real quick. Did you hear me?
I know what it is, Xander. Let me go out because it's the streaming. It's taking so many. Let me go out. I'm still listening. I'll come in from here and there. But let me go out on this.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Maybe.
That might be it. I don't know.
We'll see, because I think that you were doing it too before he came in.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds a lot better.
Yeah. It sounds cool.
It's the reception with the satellites that they have, and that's the thing. That's why that's what it sounds like when go in and out.
Right.
It's probably the nasty agathoriums. We all know about those, right?
Right.
And I tell people all the time, stop putting sad and angry emojis, because that gets people banned. And I think sometimes people do it on purpose. Like, are you serious, people? Some people can't make up backup accounts on Facebook that they get permanently banned. And then, they're doing what I'm doing, which is anti-human trafficking task force work. It kind of messes it up. And it's like, how can people reach them if they didn't get a chance to put down their connection to other social medias? You already got them off of social media by putting them sad and mad emojis. Don't put them under posts.
Right.
Exactly. And then you have the YouTubers that are misleading information, that what they don't understand is they're actually hurting the child, not helping the child.
Yeah. Well, this whole YouTube world that's like true crime, I mean, they are disgracing children. It's like one of the saddest things that I've ever really seen involving missing kids. we didn't know that there was a true crime community of YouTubers that make money off the name of missing kids. And there's even like games, like LARPing games that are being revealed surrounding these missing kids. And it's really heartbreaking and discouraging too, you know, but it motivates you to push harder when you see these things.
Yeah, it does. And the thing about the Summer Wells case, I was interested in the case. I was like, this has similarities between the disappearance of Tammy's son, how it went. I'm like, where is this girl? Summer Wells is a very high profile case now. So I have a feeling like TBI is kind of covering it up too. They know they could find out where Summer Wells is, but I feel like the higher ups are part of it and part of covering it up.
Well, here's the truth and reality. You know, we've been talking to people who've been looking for birth certificates and things like that. I mean, we can't find Summer. So
It's like a record of her at
like
all.
a record. I mean, clearly there's photographs, but if you look at all the photographs too, there's Photoshop photographs. There's pictures of a kid that isn't Summer. It looks like Summer, you know, and it looks just like Summer, but that's not really, I don't really feel like it's the same kid. So what's really going on here?
Right, you're right.
You know,
And like I said, I want to see Summer come home.
Yeah.
Or to a better home, let's say that, because it could just be something like a John Benet Ramsey thing, you know, but I don't know, not somebody that was at the house, because it's
Dang
just
it,
not
you're
making.
picking up again so bad. Kind of
Sorry.
lip reading in between. I'm getting some of it though.
Turn your mic off and turn it back on real quick.
Okay.
It's a little mic button at the bottom. Yeah.
I think
Is
she
that
lives
better?
somewhere where there's good signal.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah.
Perfectly.
Good. Sorry.
Well, you might have to move to a certain part of your house that has the reception. Sometimes you have to move to a certain spot, and you get the reception.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Ernie was in a hotel the other day, and it was horrible.
Oh, it was terrible.
Like, until he went to the lobby, it was like you couldn't even watch it. It was bad. So.
Oh, I can't. Much better.
Yeah, you have the clear reception, girl.
And our cold. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, but no. What I was saying, my gut instinct for Summer Wells is still somebody that was at that house that day had something to do with her disappearance. My instinct and the intuition is telling me that. You know, I don't like to accuse people of things, but I also came across some intel that, to me, you know, for helping human trafficking children is pointing a little bit that way.
We believe the church had something to do with it, and that Robin had something to do with it.
You know, I will say this, Tina, when you guys are done.
Do what, Jay?
No, I was saying when you guys are done, I will explain how the churches are all connected, because I'm interested in hearing what Deb is saying, how she said about the churches too.
Yeah.
Why don't you do that? That'd be good.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, these churches, you know, Catholic, Pentecostal, Mormon, let's see, Jehovah, some of that. I mean, nobody is immune to this, you know. It's everywhere, and it's everybody. You know, there's not like just a specific class, but what I always say is be leery as a parent if your child starts bringing home like expensive gifts.
Yeah.
Red flag, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I'm done, Jay.
We should really not just trust, like blindly trust in any sort of authority over our children if we don't know those people. And I mean, even people that like can turn out to be completely things that you never knew they could possibly be.
Man, it's bad now. I mean, you can't really trust even schools and teachers and things like that. And I don't know that there's more pedophilia now than there used to be, but I think people are more out in the open about it. Definitely.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's either way, it's more and more evident that you really just can't trust anybody that you don't absolutely know with your kids. It's sad.
Right.
You know?
It really is.
And I will say this, that the child grooming starts at home. And what's really sad is a lot of the child predators target single mothers to get to their kids.
Yep.
You know, and you know, some mothers can't call themselves mothers. If you know your man is molesting your daughter and then you tell your daughter to be quiet, you're complicit in it. You know, you have to believe what the kids are saying. The kids tell the truth. They do not lie about that at all. When the kids are being molested by the boyfriend or girlfriend, the kids are telling the truth.
Right.
So the same thing, we always talk about, you know, the men being the predators, but women are just as much as the predators too. Sometimes the women target single fathers to get to the kids, you know, and so it's both ways. So this is why it's important for parents to do a background search on the people that, you know, they're going to marry, date, and get engaged to, and, you know, who you're going to have babysit your kids. Like, you have to do a background check, you know, so it's important. Because that grooming really, not just necessarily on the internet with social media, but more so it starts in the home. That's really where the grooming is, in the home.
You also have to, you know, watch what like your chosen partner is watching on TV. You know, people think Full House was innocent, but it was not innocent at all. And as a person in the know, if you go back and watch some of those episodes, they're disgusting. Like what they were doing to those kids right in plain sight, you know, but it takes woke guys to see that wasn't funny, like the things that they were portraying. And then they would have the, you know, on cue laugh machines, like everybody's laughing. So it was desensitizing people. And that's part of what MK Ultra is the mind programming through television. You know, that has made people, you know, less sensitive to what's really going on, you know, and really insincere about the topic.
Yeah. Well, the grooming not only starts in the home with the people who live in the home, but also on the TV, like what the kids are watching. And
that's absolutely, you're right.
One of the first groomings that kids get usually, because they're so much more receptive to somebody coming onto them and a predator going after them if they're already in that mindset from, you know, shit like Disney. You know.
Yeah. It's bad.
I know everybody loves Disney, but
I don't care if it's like, I was a new mother now, and my daughter, 5 or 6, wanted this. Get it.
You're breaking up, Dad.
Yeah, you're breaking up. We didn't hear any of that about what your daughter wanted.
Sorry.
That's okay.
It's off and on.
It's off and on. Are you in a rural area? You're not. You're like.
I live in the woods in Northport.
Oh, okay.
Better.
You have a tin roof, don't you?
Yeah. Did you see it?
No, but I guessed it because tin roofs actually do block signal.
Oh, that's why then.
Yeah, that's why they say tin hats and all that shit, is because it really does block EMFs and satellite transmissions.
Oh, but quickly, you have some new information about Jonah. We can't share it yet.
Okay.
But we do have maybe another group I've asked to come in and kind of help out. One thing about the traffickers, they're really good. They try hard not to leave a paper trail, but in reality, everybody has a paper trail if they have a name. Ever.
Right.
And so that's kind of what we're doing right now. But when we have an update and Tammy's fine with it and everybody, yeah, I want to do this because it's like this. Just bring the children back, and people will leave them alone. All
Right.
children.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'd like to get Tammy up here.
We would love to talk to Tammy
since she's
and give some exposure like this case needs.
Yeah.
Definitely. I haven't heard from her since Monday. I hope she's okay. But like I said, I do worry about her, and I really hope that we can get more parents like kind of, maybe praying for her, just
absolutely.
I think it'd be good for her because, I don't know how many moms.
I didn't hear that last part.
I didn't hear the last part. Dang it.
Oh, I said
reception always bad?
No, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I know. I don't either. Because you don't seem to be in an area that would have too poor of reception.
No. Can you guys hear me here?
Yeah, we can bear with it. I can hear you when it goes in and out. I'm like, oh man.
No, all I said was Tammy, I feel really could use as much support and love that people would give her because like what she's going through is a nightmare that no mother would want to go through.
Yeah. No doubt. And she's not out there like Don Wells is out there, just like going on every channel, being the way he's being. We did actually get to talk to Don. But I don't know if he had anything to do with Summer's disappearance. Like after talking to him, but I will say that I think he loved her an awful lot.
I didn't really think it would be him, but I know, like I heard rumors that he was showering with his daughter and in bed with her.
Mm-hmm.
And when I see her picture, she looks like a child.
Well, it's a generational curse. I think that's why we have to address this and not be secrets, because in secrets we don't heal.
Well, that's the tricky part about it is that pretty much every child molester or trafficker was molested as a child. So there's a degree of sympathy that you have to have for these people, but at the same time, I mean, there's comes a point in your life, of course, where you're an adult and you have the choice. But it still stems from abuse, almost always.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of sides to everything.
So I think that Jay and Deborah should talk a little bit about their works and findings surrounding the Jonah case and the main players and what's going on with that. Why is this case so important? And maybe you guys can compare notes because you guys just met each other.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I mean, basically, Brian Sullivan goes by different aliases. He could go by Kevin Sullivan. He can go by Brian Sean. He can go by Ollie. I've been out, and I know Jay has too. A lot of other people started getting involved. Like, for example, if I'm online with Facebook and I'm looking like, it's someone's profile or whatever, all of a sudden now, if I look somebody in Scotland. I started getting all these friend requests from people from Scotland, which is weird because I'm not like friend requesting these people. So, you know, there's a lot of fraud and money laundering linked to these people.
Yep.
They're coming out of the woodworks. They're acting like they're other people as well. Do we think it's a big network? We know it is.
Yes, we know. Yeah.
But even Jay, you know, had someone else bother her, and we did search. I was like, wow, according to this person, they should be about 10 billion rich from a business split. Well, wait a minute. What is there? But it's everywhere in the United States.
Yeah.
So, we're putting
You're breaking up so bad
You're
now.
breaking up, Deb.
Sorry, y'all.
Bad. I don't know what's
That's
going on.
all right. Stupid satellites.
Yeah.
Interference. You know, it's funny because we were trying to get Gigi online for days, who we find she knows how to research. You know, she's going for the right things like public documents of, you know, deeds and births and things like that. But every time we would try to go on live with her, there was crazy technical difficulties, which is strange.
Yeah, our phones have been doing weird stuff the last few days too.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you know, there's no doubt in my mind. I mean, this stuff is not always coincidental. That's all I'm going to say, because I had already talked to Tina and Jay about my involvement in the Brian Laundrie case.
Do you want to talk about that at all? Do you want to talk about that at all? If I can hear you.
I called the FBI on 2 occasions. Well, I called Northport Police. They did location of, you know, seeing. I called the FBI. So I called them twice. Then there was a day I was coming out of the Dollar Tree, you know, a couple miles from me. I live about 4 miles from his parents.
Okay.
There was a guy leaning on a bike. He had a hat and sunglasses on. My hands were full. And he asked if I needed help putting the stuff in my car. I looked, I was like, oh my God, Brian, you know, real. And I looked and I'm thinking to myself, how am I going to figure it out? Because, you know, then you don't want to call the police because everybody's calling them. So I'm okay, I'll offer him some food. So I was putting food in the bag. And when I went to give him the bag, I went to look down at his hand to see if he got tattooed on it.
Yeah.
And when he did, he jumped off of the concrete stoop, balled up, dyed all of his hair, had a dark beard. And this guy, I realized he wasn't a typical homeless person. A very, very expensive bike. He had camping equipment, everything. So I'm like freaking out because he has his hand in his pocket and I'm handing him the bag. And I'm just like kind of zone out in his eyes, like, oh my God, what do I do? And please don't. And I was like, please don't call the police on you, or please don't give you the food. So I'm thinking. So I just went to my car and I said, well, I'm sorry, I don't have any cash on me. And he was like, oh, it's fine. And the guy held up like this black like Galaxy phone, and it wasn't even like the screen wasn't nothing. So when I left, I came. Did you call 911? And I go, no, because they had to call you.
Wow.
You know, and
did it kind of feel like maybe he inserted himself in your life that day, though?
I think it's all really weird when I accidentally got to an encrypted site. It's called Pegasus. It was supposed to be like one of the best. I got to a site and I started pulling documents by accident.
Oh, you're going silent on all this. Nope, no sound.
It's really hard to hear you.
There's no sound on you. Go out and come back in.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys heard that, but she was saying that she believes she was one of the last people to see Brian Laundrie, and she lives about 4 miles from his parents down in Florida. And she was putting groceries away, and he came up on a bike. This kid came up on a bike that she thinks was Brian Laundrie, and she recognized him, and he freaked out. So that's interesting. I haven't heard that name in a while.
No, it's almost like he inserted himself or a look-alike or something. But considering that she just lives 4 miles from his parents, then the likelihood that it was the real deal.
A lot of people thought he was there.
Yeah.
I think he probably was there at some point during the search. I don't know.
And then we were getting all the tips for the Smoky Mountain area. You know, and there's so much fake stuff that's involved in that story too. It's hard to know like what's real and what's fake because there's so many actors, so many, you know, setups. Like, you know, I was supposedly going to interview Dawn that got canceled by Cher, like somebody from Canada. Really, like, you know.
Oh, yeah. Okay, guys. Hey, guys, check this out right fast. I got some cool information from you guys. I know we didn't want to go into this, but this is from actual investigators and a team of investigators from the Summer Wells thing. And this is pretty cool. I want you to hear this scenario. These people are actually trained people who looked into this, and this may just blow your guys' minds. This is kind of first thing I've heard about it, and I believe it connects a lot of dots with Rose Bly, with Summer Wells, and this is kind of this is really something to look into. I'm going to scoot a little bit closer here. I'm not going to put them on actual face or nothing like that. You guys can hear. Can you guys hear me good?
Yeah.
Yes.
We're just having a conversation here, and like I said, she's had her team of investigators look into this, and I think it's going to play out really well, Tina, because I know you know the case really well. Can you guys hear the fan? Can you guys hear the fan at all? Is it doing
We can hear you pretty good.
No, I just hear your voice.
Okay, cool deal. So go ahead. Can you start from the beginning and tell us what you was telling me? Because it was really fascinating what you were saying about the driveway, about everything that you was talking about, and what you guys came up with when because you've been on the case, of course, when it first happened. The day it happened, right?
Right.
Go ahead.
So a few years back, my team and I all went to take down Backpage, the website that was allowing children to be sold on there. And we learned a lot on how they were doing it, how to find them, how to track them down. And then ultimately we were able to take down the whole website because we proved what was happening on there. In the Summer Wells case, I saw a lot of the same things that I saw that the people on Backpage were doing to sell children. As far as, for instance, whenever they would prostitute out a child, they would pick a property that was nearby the home of the family where the child lived, but they would never do it out from their actual property. So in this case, I see that Candace posts 4 different photos where Summer is standing in front of for sale signs. Some of them say different things. There's actually one that in the very beginning of the case that has now been kind of taken down from everywhere because Summer was in a bikini and then the bikini was too big for her. So it showed things that it shouldn't have showed. And so Facebook had it taken down. You know, you couldn't put it on YouTube. Of course, you shouldn't. You know, it was a bad photo of Summer. But behind her, there's writing, which I think came out later to be another teenage boy named Cameron or something like that visited the Wells house often, was like a friend of the family's or something, who spray painted this stuff. But it was a lewd comment.
No. Background. We're talking about a background that had a rude comment. You can actually tell them what it says on the.
Well, I don't remember exactly what it said because it's been like 4 or 5 months now. Yeah.
Probably remembers.
it said something like young shaved pussy or young tight pussy or something like that in the background.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've heard of that one.
Yeah. And
I
then
haven't
in
seen
summer,
that.
I've
standing
not
in front
seen
of that.
So Summer was standing in front of it, and then did she have the bikini on in that one? Was it that one?
Yeah.
And the bikini was way too big for her, and it actually showed. It exposed Summer exactly. So that was one reason that
Does
they had to
anyone
take it
have
off. But
this photo at all?
everything was taken down. It would be a good photo to find.
I even reported it myself when I saw people post it
Okay.
because it was inappropriate. So,
So keep on going. Listen to this. This gets very interesting.
now everyone knows about the video of her dancing around the barrel that said for sale on it.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, that's been seen everywhere. And there was a couple of other photos too, where it's like in the background, like unless you're looking for it, you wouldn't probably even see it. But these predators that find these things, they know what to look for, and they would easily see it.
Oh yeah.
Okay?
It's
And
like
then
language.
Right.
when the day that she goes missing, when Candace gets a hold of Dawn and tells him, where's the first place that he went? At first he says he gets there before the cops. But then later he says, no, okay, maybe there was a couple of cops there. I just didn't see them because I didn't go up the driveway. I didn't go straight to the house. I went straight to the cabin that's at the end of their property to look for her. And that's where he said he saw his boys and a neighbor also looking for her. Okay. Well, I think the reason he went to that cabin first is because that's possibly where they were selling her out of.
Okay, now she has a point right here with this, because pedophiles and pedophilia, when they do it, they never use their own home hardly. They always have like a branched out building or something that's on the property, and that's really big because. And she was standing in Gatlinburg. Summer, they got a photo of Summer in Gatlinburg, and it also is beside a place that says an old broken down place that says for sale.
And in the Gatlinburg picture, she's also wearing that same bikini bathing suit that she's wearing in the other photo I'm talking about, but she's a little bit bigger and the bathing suit fits her better in those pictures.
So this is different times that we're talking that Summer's been reported in this bikini that's oversized for her. And, this is pretty much just leading out to be that, Summer was sold. That's what I said in the beginning, it's a child trafficking deal. Even when we talk, now check this out. Even when we talk to Don on the phone, his first thing is like, a predator took my daughter. So why would he automatically assume, and know that a predator took his daughter?
And he also mentions that it's possibly a predator who saw her on Candace's social media, like on Facebook or TikTok or something like that. Well, he would say that because he knows that that's where Candace was putting her up for sale at.
Well, Summer had her own Facebook page.
Yes.
The two boys.
May I reiterate really quick?
Yeah.
I always had a feeling Summer was sold into human trafficking. Remember when I said that a while back? I was like, that little girl was sold into international human trafficking. What happens if they sold her outside of the United States? Like in the same network that Jonah went missing to, because these traffickers work for the Vatican, and all of the trafficking rings are ran from Carlsbad, California, and San Diego, California. That's where the CIA operates. So we're talking about a whole large CIA child trafficking network. And like I said, the Hillsong Church, even the one in what's that one in Australia, the LDS cult, the Mormon cult, the what's that? The Scientology and the SDA church all connect with each other, one way or another in human trafficking. And it's the higher ups in the church that are doing the human trafficking.
Sorry to interrupt you. What are some of those connections between those different branches of churches that you mentioned? Because a lot of people
it all has to do with the Finders cult. The Finders cults are connected to the SDA church. So it's the Finders cult that is operated by the CIA, and the Finders cult operates National Center for Missing Exploited Children. That's a CIA operation. It's a CIA child supply center, and that's why the National Center for Missing Exploited Children is right near the CIA headquarters in Virginia. DynCorp, the one that was caught human trafficking, was right near the National Center for Missing Exploited Children.
Wow. I don't know if you saw a whistleblower that I found today, but that is all about a mega church in Cleveland, Tennessee. It isn't far from Chattanooga. That this woman claims is building a deep underground base kind of thing, which if it's in Cleveland, there's already a base. He's just building like.
Okay, check this out, guys. Here's the theory of these investigators right here. They're going to tell you what their theory is. These are professional people, and this is where all this information has been gathered from, right?
Okay.
Go ahead.
So we don't believe that she was taken off to Mexico or somewhere, even outside of the state, really, or out of the country. We think that Dawn said that to kind of throw people off and say she's not around here. Don't be looking around here. She's not around here. We think that they were selling her to people locally, possibly people at the church, because I do believe that type of church that they were going to is cultish. So possibly there were some people there at the church that they were selling her to, but I believe that they thought she was going to come home that day. That's what my team thinks too. And when she didn't come back at the time that she was supposed to come back, Candace waited. I think that all that time that's missing in Candace's timeline is her waiting and waiting. And then when she finally realizes, okay, she was supposed to be back by now, is when she calls Dawn and says, Summer got gone,
Well,
the feeling that we had throughout all of this is that
she
was being trafficked, and then maybe something went wrong, even more
Right.
wrong than it was supposed to.
Well, you can imagine too. What got me is when I just now found out about the bridge. I did not know about the bridge picture, and they're bringing that up now. There was a couple team members here that actually had the photo, and they placed it on. Of course, it was all turned in, right? Everything it said has been turned in.
Yeah.
But the oversized bikini, because that's one of the main things that child traffickers will do to put out promotional for their victims, is put them in something that that don't fit. That way they can see things, because they love the imagination part. If you look at pedophiles and predators, with child pedophilia, they love animation and they love to see the nudity part. And we also talked about that is the loophole that gets them out of being a child predator and having child pornography. Remember that? You remember that, right, guys? Is even the Department of Homeland Security was the ones telling us, that right there is the key to get them out of it, was the anime part of it, turning it into that. Remember the guy that was caught with over 1,000 some, and then right before he did, he turned actual people into anime. And that was the loophole they had for the U.S. Of course, a lot of that's been covered now, but I think a lot of it was what we'd already talked about, Xander. We would talk about the signs and symbols of being sold, and you've got 3 or 4 sell signs. I did not know that. I only heard about the one for sale sign that was up with what was going on with the barrel. I never knew that the bridge, and then it said young shaved, whatever it was, and all that.
Yeah, I've never seen that before.
Yeah, I've not seen that. I mean, I don't want to see it, but I'd like to, know that it's verified, real, because there's so much fake stuff. I mean, there's so much fake news surrounding the entire case.
No, we don't do that.
It's just sad. This kid's name has been used for.
Yo, buddy, what's up? What's up? What you doing? Buddy, I'm down in Florida. Florida? Yep.
Ernie, get off the phone.
Ernie, what are you doing on the phone?
I want to mute you.
Oh my God, Ernie.
What I wanted to reiterate is my friend, my whistleblower friend who is a survivor, MK Ultra. She was tortured in 3 jails, and the cuffs were too tight, and she was poisoned. So you see like the blue lining around the lips. So I was like, geez. Yeah, because Garcetti, she made Eric Garcetti's father lose a case back in the early 90s, or something like that. My other friend is a trafficking survivor from foster care. She was trafficked all the way from the UK to the United States. So her identity's kind of messed up. So she's trying to get her original identity. So that's going to take her a while to figure out what her real identity is, because they messed it up so much with the courts.
Yeah. So what do you know about all these identity thefts and these fake birth certificates as part of human trafficking? Because we're finding a lot of evidence of that right now.
You know, the people I have such a big fan. The same people in the Summer Wells case are using different aliases to like keep off money laundering and to keep people off their trail, you know, to clean kind of their trail. So the same thing with Jonah's traffickers. They tried to clean their trails, but CNN's going down and they're not going to be able to hide no longer. You're going to see them come out of the woodworks. I mean, CNN going down is huge. That means that case is coming out little by little, you know. So the Jonas case connects to WikiLeaks with the Podesta email, so it's huge. Coming CNN, you know, sucker, him going down. That's a huge thing.
Yeah, they're keeping everybody distracted with so many dramas. And that's
same thing with John Walsh. He had CPS steal his daughter Megan Walsh's children, and he brags about it. I'm like, okay, John Walsh, you say you save kids, but then you wouldn't have had CPS steal your daughter's kids.
Right.
Realistically, John Walsh is not who he claims to be. He's a fraud. And his whole organization is to cover up the child trafficking. And people think he's a hero. Like, no, stop idol worshiping John Walsh, the celebrity TV host, as a god. Like, he's not who you think he is. Congress put National Center for Misexploited Children in effect in the 1980s. Congress uses that as a way to cover up the child trafficking that they're involved in. Why? Think about this for a second. Why else is John Walsh's organization by the CIA headquarters? Because he's a CIA operative. He's a CIA front man.
Right.
You know, and he's not who he claims to be. His organization aided in the trafficking of Tammy's son.
Deborah, do you know anything about the Walsh family story?
Check this out. Check this out. This might tie in together. Hold on one second. We're talking about that. We just heard about it. So, you know, I'm seeing in the chat just talking about Candace having children after summer. Before summer. Okay, so like I said, I'm not familiar with the case at all. But of course, these people here, they've investigated it, and you know, they're just putting their stuff out there for what happened. And when she's telling me that it was before summer.
Yeah, she had her 2 kids with Anthony at her first marriage, and that was Candace, and I think or Andrew, Anthony or Andrew, I can't remember now. I've been talking about too much stuff. But then, unbeknownst father, she got pregnant again and gave that baby up at the hospital. Like, soon as the baby was born, gave it up, and then met Dawn right afterwards. So that child would be 13, 14, something like that.
Wow. And then what about the aunt too? I mean, I'm sorry. I believe in not that much coincidence.
Rose Bly, you talking about?
We think that Rose Bly is the same thing. We think that she was also being pimped out and stuff like that, because when she went missing, she supposedly went to go meet with a cousin or something like that. They were going to go to get a couple of drinks and stuff. And then she disappears. The cousin said, she was never supposed to meet with me. I don't know what you're talking about. And then her vehicle is found where the semis park their trucks and stuff like that. And she's nowhere to be found. So, you know, I don't know if you ever heard of like lot lizard people, women.
Yeah,
you know, but I think that that's kind of what was going on. And similar situation. Either somebody got too rough with her and then disposed of her, or they took her off and she's never returned.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I think if she's real, she's not here anymore. That's my feelings on it. And it's sad. And it's sad that people make so much money off of kids' names and stuff.
Yeah, it is.
But I would like to have some of these people who are watching that do the deep dives and can find, other information to try to connect these churches. These churches, in the same way with Jonah, it's all coming back to how the churches are using their, priesthood and their nonprofits and their charitable organizations and their soup kitchens and their homeless shelters and things like that as a way of human trafficking.
Right.
Yeah. Also, I sent something right before the show tonight about, Jay, you and I were talking about it earlier. There's a cannibalism website. I did an IP background check. It's from a company called Dream that's registered out in Bree, California. Bree, California is an hour and 15 minutes south of Carlsbad. We already know that a lot of these traffickers bring the kids through Carlsbad.
Mm-hmm.
So,
do you remember the name of the website?
I'm sorry?
Do you remember the name of the website?
I think I sent it right before the show to you on your messenger.
Okay.
But it's...
I've been to it. I remember what you're talking about, but it's been a while.
Yeah, and they tried to say it was just a joke. I don't...
No, it's not a joke.
No, it's not a joke at all.
There's several like it. I mean, there's several like it. There's several cannibalistic restaurants, especially over in LA.
See?
And similar places.
Yeah, I mean, it's like if people don't start opening their eyes, I mean, it's just going to keep getting worse. We're all taking a chance by telling people things, but we're doing it because at the end of the day, hey, I got to answer to God,
right,
when it's my time, and so will they.
Exactly.
The ones that try to get away with it, they will answer to God.
And when you know and you are a good person, you can't stop.
Right.
You'll
help
you
people.
see results.
Well, yeah, once you know, you know.
Once you know, you
can't
know.
stop. Your eyes are open. There's no closing.
I cannot leave this world in the condition that it's in for my children and grandchildren.
That's right.
I do what I do personally for myself, and that's why Deborah does it, and that's why Ernie does it. Like, that's why we're all doing this. But me speaking for myself, I know why I do it. And
do it from your heart. That's why.
Yeah, it's got to stop. It's like the pain in children to stop. It has to.
That's right.
Yes, echoing in the background, just to let you guys know.
It's Jay. I just don't want to.
You need to go out and come back in. You're having some sort of mic interference.
Yeah, I didn't
Go
want
back and come in and come out.
Hey guys, hey, check this out. Check this out about the church deal what came out with the church deal. Okay, so I mean, you can't make this stuff up. I mean, this is like, whoa. Go ahead.
So everybody's seen the videos of Summer at the church where she's just running wild. She can't stay in her seat. She's walking all around, and there's several videos of it.
Yeah.
In those videos, if you slow them down and you watch, you'll see it's different men in the church wave at her, wait for her to come over, sit next to them, stuff like that. And now recently, that Don Sheffrey Sr., whatever guy that everybody's spotlighting on right now, he said that he'd been there before and he had seen her at the church, and that she even came and sat in his wife's lap next to him during a service one time.
Wow.
And Candace was asked if that was true, and then she says something around that she never even seen him there before, but if so, there's no way she'd let her baby go and wander off and sit with these people that she don't even know. But yet we watch the videos and Candace is asleep. She ain't paying attention. Summer's running everywhere during services.
Yeah.
So,
well, you know what I did when I was doing some social media, looking at things, I saw that the Wells' two older sons, their own Facebook pages in 2015, Dawn and Candace were not friends with them on there, but Grandis was, the grandma. And I think that's a little weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty suspicious right there.
Yeah.
But also with this Don guy, this Don Jeffrey Sr. guy, at first he says that he didn't really know the kids or know some or anything like that. But then later he comes out and says that about the church. And then he also says that they're all playing out in the road all the time with no adults watching them, summer too. So that was really weird of him to say that. Like, why say you don't really know of them or know them that well, and then the next thing you know, she's sitting on your wife's lap at church, and she's blocking you when you try to drive down to the road. And he says it like he's aggravated about it. You know, the parents ain't watching them; they're just down there riding their bikes on the road and stuff. You know, that's a little strange.
Yeah.
And then his son being, you know, having all the charges that he has and stuff. I don't know. I keep an eye on him as being a client of theirs.
Yeah, and then that Jose Roman guy, I can't keep shaking him like for the fact he left. He went to North Carolina. Didn't somebody say they thought they seen her somewhere there or something? Now the guy's supposed to be in the Philippines. Like, Philippines is famous for trafficking. You know, I mean, I doubted the guy could get
Not permanently though.
legally, you know.
Right.
But it's just weird. I mean, there's too many suspects that could be kind of.
There are so many players in here, and so many of them are actors, and it's just ridiculous. Like,
yeah,
I've never seen anything like this. It's bonkers.
But yeah, and she just now made a point out about this. Go ahead.
I said when there's a lot of suspects, that's because there's a lot of clientele.
Yeah,
they're all covering for each other, but they're seemingly to throw each other on the bus, but under the bus, but they're not. If that makes any sense.
Yeah. I've been investigating these girls that went missing in Albany, Georgia, which I was going to ask you guys. Maybe we could all meet up there if you're into that.
Georgia?
Yeah, in Albany.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
All right, good.
It's not too far from us. Really.
Oh,
what's going on in Albany? What's going on in Albany?
There's these two girls missing. One, her name is Jessica Van Zandt Diesel. I've been helping her mom since February of 2020. And then another girl, Sierra Odenthal, went missing, and they both had a drug problem. They were both prostituting. They were young mothers. And GBI is just like, they really don't have any leads. And I truthfully believe these cases are connected.
I'm just going to say this, with a TBI, because I've talked to a lot of law enforcement over this, and it is a proven fact. Only 11% of law enforcement have any kind of human trafficking awareness. I mean, this is so sad that, I'm talking into, the experience they have, it's not much. To be honest with you, and I hate saying this, but hotel workers now, their curriculum for human trafficking now is more in depth than what I've seen of actual agents. So it's sad. I mean, it's really, really sad. Even Zumba fit instructors have more training now. And I know that there's special kind of training, but the thing about it is you have to have experience in the field with this. You can't just be a pencil pusher and then come up with this curriculum. You have to actually have people who's been through it and knows about sign symbols. And just like what we were saying before, the pictures with Summer on the bridge and it saying what it was saying, and the bikini being way big for her, and it actually showing parts. That part about that right there catches my mind is that's the advertising. That's the slips. It's just like everybody waits in the Super Bowl for what? A nipple slip or something like that. Wardrobe malfunction, something like that. That's what it was. And it's true. That's what, and it's facts. And that's what they look for. And if they give that to them and they move the placement of the clothing that way or wear something a little bit bigger, then that right there really does it. That's what entices. That's the enticing right there. That's what gets the appetite for child predators up. That's the blood in the water. That's the drop of blood that gets them. So there, and it's sick. It's a sick world, but You have to be in the field to understand this, and that's the HTAT part of it.
How old are these kids, Deborah, that you're talking about from Georgia? Are they kids or are they adults?
Well, they're adults now. I actually called some of the U.S. Marshals in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, because a lot of times there are these guys that go in and rescue the kids, during missions. And unfortunately, they only, help with kids up to 18. So Jessica, when she went missing, she was getting ready to turn 20. And I think Sierra probably like maybe a year or two older than her.
Right.
But
and it's hard to get something done if the kid turns 18, and which is sad. And I know that there's probably more urgent cases and sometimes when they're younger, but there's a lot of people that are in trouble when they're 18. I mean, I was helping a lady the other day with her son who's 18, and I won't get into it, but the cops won't do anything because he's 18. I mean,
there's a lot of echoing going on.
Yeah. Oh, echoing? Am I echoing? Do I have an echo?
So Xander, you brought up a big point about, the parts of meetup. The Super Bowl is a huge human trafficking portal anyways. Yeah. A lot of people meet up. Again, how do they know who's who? They know who's who by talking, of course, on Messenger, Facebook Messenger, which is 57% is what's responsible for child trafficking. And also they have signs and symbols and even signs that's used on like what's made on fan boards, they call them. When they hold the signs up, there may be something there. And they'll say, well, I'll be the one with the sign that says so-and-so. And it's real big letters. Of course, they can see it. It's just like going to the airport when you're waiting on a cab or you're waiting on somebody and you've got the sign, put up your name or whoever, how they do that. So especially in other countries, how they do it. So that's a big deal with it. And, but the thing about it is it's human trafficking awareness training. That's what it is. That's what it's all going to boil down to. There's a lot in the new curriculum that I'm writing right now, coming out with. I know that the news media is wanting to hear what I've got to say about it. I'm doing a couple of interviews down here. Sheriff Grady is family members and things are, they're real big with the One More Child down here with the human trafficking and child protection down here. So I've got a lot of things going on down here for us, and it's hopefully for the best. But as far as like a lot of people, I'm reading the chat and they're like, well, why ain't you helping with this? Why ain't you helping with that? Well, here's the thing about it is we did what we need to do. We put it out there and we turned everything into the TBI. We turned everything into the right organizations that are on topic for this. So we've done everything we can with this.
Why did you do that, dog?
And Ernie, with you saying about the Super Bowl, last year it was by my way, Tampa. And I saw a 12-year-old little boy out here panhandling with a man that was in his 40s. I'm like, I know that this guy's trafficking this little boy. You had vans driving around trying to pick up females walking by themselves. I mean, it was disgusting.
Well, we just got a call. We was down here. I ain't gonna say what organization I'm working with right now because, of course, you know how that shit goes. Right, the wrong people get a hold of it. Next thing you know, it's whatever. So we was down here in Florida just a few days ago, and there was this guy, a Middle Eastern guy, and he had this little kid, and he was running him around in the lobby. So of course that brought my attention out is he parading him around for show to see what's going on because it's in a pretty nice hotel. And I'm watching the things, the signs and the symbols of it. And of course the guy's with the 45, he's got the 45 degree and he's kind of pulling the kid. The kid don't want to really go. So of course we was able to notify. Well, I actually noticed it and I was impressed because hotel staff management noticed it. And we all was looking at the same area. And I was like, wow, I know what they're looking at. And of course I asked one of them, they was like, yeah, we've had that training. We just got our training done and we're fresh out of it. We're fresh out of the stages of it. So we know what to look for. And of course they called law enforcement. Law enforcement took the guy and done some verification. And sure enough, I think DCS or CPS, whatever you want to call it, was called for the child and everything worked out great. So, and that was just actually in the hotel. That's a random hotel that I was happily at. I wasn't called to it or nothing, but I was just, I just happened to be there. along with a couple members of some team members, and we seen that. And then we, of course, the hotel staff noticing it also. So I thought that was awesome. That shows you that you're training. And then, of course, as soon as I turned around where the elevator was at, there's a human trafficking sticker right there. I'm like, wow, that's awesome. Showing that because they're doing verifications for these hotels, showing that their staff members have actually been trained for this. So that's awesome. I parade that. That's awesome.
Yeah, that kind of brings up the issue of the Department of Children's Services too.
It does. And there's a lot of them that's to fault with that. It's like Genevieve, and I'll say this wholeheartedly, what I've got on her. I remember her talking to me about when how her connections was with CPS and all of the stuff she's into, and about how she inserts herself into these situations with these families, and she gets their kids taken. Well, it's sad that certain YouTube content creators don't listen to that fact, and they know who's calling on them. But you have to understand, certain people get certain percentages of every child taken, and then you don't think that there's under table money being passed. Come on now.
Jay has a lot of information on DCS that also falls into the John Walsh, and I'm just now discovering that Deborah also knows about the John Walsh stuff too.
Yeah.
Yeah, like people that work for CPS, and I'm not gonna say all of them, but a majority of them are really bad people, and they get paid $6,000 like total. If a child is special needs, they get more money for that.
Really?
Mm.
Why is that, you think?
No, so I said this system, you can vote all you want, but we need to stop participating in the voting system. If you want to bring the system down full of corruption, stop participating in the voting process. You keep on voting in the same problems that they create. I mean, you can vote Democrat, Republican. They don't give a shit about the American people. You want to bring the system down? We all need to stand together. Stop voting. You can continue to vote like, oh, well, if you don't vote. No. If you vote, you cannot complain at all. If you want to stop the corruption, stop the voting. The voting is what leads to the corruption.
Well, we have to unite for a common cause.
Yeah, absolutely.
All differences aside for the children, because decent human beings could agree that children should be protected and taken care of.
Right, and children are the currency for the politicians, the elites. And like I said, I'm sorry to burst people's bubble, but I'm unapologetically honest. John Walsh is a friggin' fraud. Yeah. Now, what I was reading is the Walshes left Adam unattended for 90 minutes before he was kidnapped. Think about that.
Wow.
Why was he left unattended for 90 minutes? It was an article maybe months ago last year before Christmas time that I read it. I was like, wow.
Do people know about that story? Because I just learned this. I didn't even know really who.
I don't know if they did, but they would have to look up like if they can look up. I can't remember what it was, but I read it and I was like, that's unbelievable.
This is John Walsh's son, right? This is why he got into reporting.
Yeah, and like that kidnapping was all for fame and money. Like if you want to make it in Hollywood, you have to participate in these ritual sacrifices of children. You have to be into the devious stuff that they're in. Like all they're doing is sick Luciferian stuff. Like if you want to be an icon in politics, well, you're going to have to do some satanic stuff, satanic ritual sacrifice. And this is how you get into the industry. Right. Do you really want to sign your soul off? I mean, the point is America's moved away from God. That's the whole thing. Now you got the masses so hypnotized with MK Ultra. They look at the celebrities like gods. What happened to worshiping God, putting him first before anything? Yeah. See, all this stuff has happened because we turned away from God. That's it.
Yeah, there's no longer a moral compass.
Yeah.
It's degraded.
Yeah, the moral compass is gone. It doesn't have to be about God. I mean, there's all kinds of reasons to be a good person, and it doesn't really matter to me which one you use, but you have to do that.
There's actually a poll out right now it talks about the percentage rate who actually are God-fearing Christians and God-fearing people, and it's less than 30% now of all people. So that in itself is scary. It's really, really scary. Everyone, if you're enjoying this, if you're enjoying what we're doing here with these people and having these live events like this, can you guys put a 1? Can you guys put a 1 in the comments, please? Can you guys show us the 1?
1 in the comment.
Yeah, bomb it.
Put a 1 in the comments. Everybody put a 1 in the comments.
No, we know who that is.
Which one is it?
Somebody trying to interrupt the live. It's unknown names. They just start.
Let's not give no names out.
I recognize that unknown name.
Yeah,
let's not put nobody out there no more like that. Everybody put a 1 in the comments, please.
Yeah.
We appreciate it. Also, let's take a little breather and let's show you some. We're all serious right now, but let's go into a little bit of a comedy thing. This is something me and Xander did when he called me a cop, and Xander's like that, and you'll see what I mean by this.
Isn't it crazy how before we met you, we thought you were a cop?
A cop.
Yeah, a cop.
A cop.
Well, you look like a cop.
Oh, no.
You act like a cop.
Hell no.
You definitely smell like a cop.
That's just wrong.
I'm just playing.
Hell no.
And that might be what you see in the future, too. I mean, we have to do that. We have to put some of these skits in. But
into the future.
I mean, this is such heavy, dark material. You have to do things.
Yeah. So
he was taken back. Like, how dare you call me that?
This is actually the movie for Predator Hunter Nation. We actually get to kill pedophiles. That's going to be awesome. And Xander, I did say movie, so it's going to be good. Tina gets to whip them with
they
a
would
whip.
have harder crimes, some of it would stop.
Exactly. Exactly.
So how many cases are you actively working on right now, Deborah?
Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4.
4?
I'm working on 4 right now. Yeah.
Is that all across the country, or is that just in your area?
No, all over. All over. The good thing here in Florida, and I noticed it a lot of people hate our governor, but I think he's great. We've kept the people thriving. We're doing good. Some of these kids have gotten PTSD from having to wear masks for 2 years, just crazy things. But I'm not going to judge people. Wear a mask if you want, whatever.
Right.
They're really good when we have kids missing, really good. Like with what happened with Brian Laundrie, we had so much water, the swamps were up to a guy's chest. And, media acted like they weren't looking for him. And, unless you live in a swamp and see it for your own eyes, you're not going to believe how bad things can really be,
So don't you see all the fake shit surrounding that too, though? Like the Brian Laundrie stuff. Yeah, I'm just going to take it off the hook.
Hello? Can you hear me?
I can hear you guys perfectly.
We can hear
you're
you.
back.
Do it.
So now, guys, where I'm working with a lot of publicists and I'm working with agents right now.
I'm going to leave.
And, we're getting everything in together, but this is mostly for you, the people, because what I'm bringing you out is reality. And I'm wanting to show people my everyday life, what's going to be happening in the next few. So, I had to take a little bit of a break. I got to go do some fun things today, which is awesome. But, coming in the next day or so, we're going to be hitting it hard. So, no, it's not their car warranty, John Deere. But it's good to have a little bit of laugh after it, because too much seriousness, when you put a lot of seriousness in with it, you get tensions rolling. When tensions start going up, and then we can kind of pause off. Plus, it gives people time to go to the bathroom or do whatever. They're like, we don't want to miss this, and we're not going to go back through this live, So it's good to, throw Xander up on screen for comedy.
Exactly. Exactly.
Lightning Tiger, Thunder Thief.
We also
Xander's the comedy.
We
That's
also
funny.
don't want to go too long in these. I know people get carried away, and I like doing long lives too. But for people that do want to go back and find stuff, you ever try to go back and look through a 4-hour live or something, it's impossible. So
Yeah.
Facebook put my meme as spam because I made a meme and I made Justin Trudeau look like the evil grasshopper. I said when he found out he was a slut, oh, Facebook didn't like
Oh
it. I
my
said,
God.
the hell?
Oh,
I
you
said,
can
the
say my
hell?
words like that.
Only you would call Justin Trudeau. Yep, I see it now.
No.
Yep.
We got some
Man,
savage
he
memes
has to be Fidel Castro's son.
yeah, go
He
to
looks just like Fidel.
Horrible shit.
Yeah, we made some gnarly memes, but we made it as a psychological operation to attack
Well,
the Hampstead cult.
Yeah.
So,
Because we hated memes.
that was when we were looking
Oh, it
into.
would make them blow fuses and shit.
That was when we were
They
looking
hated
into baby eaters and cannibals and stuff, and so it was like, you develop a really dark sense of humor.
You do, and it's sad. It's the coping mechanism.
Not everybody understands. It's okay.
Guys, you don't know how hard it is right now where I'm staying at. There's actually a real bad child predator that's right behind me in the very next house behind me. And I'm sitting here and I'm fumbling through and I'm like, I'm down here, we've got, we're down here with probably the greatest sheriff in the world today, Sheriff Grady. And I'm like, I know how he feels about child.
Sheriff that always uses comedy because he's funny. He said, "This is
funny
yeah,
and I'm down here, and I'm like, you know how easy it would be to run a sting on this guy behind me because he's sitting here watching these kids get on the bus, and it's just like, oh my God, and then he's like so far from the school zones, and I'm like, wow. And I'm sitting here like, oh my, and I'm looking at these charges on this guy, and he's just got out. And I'm like, now if he's rehabilitated, which I don't believe child predators can be rehabilitated, I think it's something that is just terminal. And just to be honest with you, that's me. That's an opinion, but that's the way I believe because I've seen it too many times. I've seen people come off drugs, and I've actually seen that. I have never seen a child predator come off of being a child predator. I've never seen that. It's just like a shark with blood in the water. I've never seen them not like blood. So, when that comes into that, so it's a different thing. When you start talking it's spiritual, because that's a spiritual thing and it leads into spirituality, that's when you got to say, oh God, what in the hell is happening here? And I'm like, really, like, I've got my other phone here and I'm like, oh, wow. If I see him on this app, I am really going to go wild about this. Because a lot of it, and it's hard to say, but a lot of it, they don't get rehabilitated, guys. It's a bad deal. But go ahead, Xander.
Hey, Jay, I just tried to post a website in the live chat here, and it said it failed to post to Facebook because it goes against community standards.
Yeah, because I covered a big, huge cover up in Tammy's son's trafficking, and I'm on to these people. So it's probably the politicians. Like, the politicians know who I am, so they're probably like, this BICTH, good, you're all exposed. Now, CNN's going down, and I'm loving every bit of it. CNN, Griffin. Remember when I was talking about Griffin? It was the CNN child predator, Griffin, the one who was caught sex trafficking. He was the one who tracked down Jonah. I was like, I'm loving it. Oh, what was your wife not good enough for you, Zucker, that you had to cheat on her with, an executive, and CNN?
Well,
Zucker,
you were the one that exposed that. You was the one who done that. You did that. I remember before this even happened, you were talking about that.
I said, Zucker, you're commentating, and Maxwell is talking.
You were the White House whistleblower.
Yeah,
you're the White House whistleblower.
Talking.
You're the one that's the White House whistleblower. I've said that when I read what was going on, you said that. I mean, you did.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so I remember being targeted by I don't know who, but they're connected to Five Eyes Intelligence. Like I said, I've been targeted by the CIA, Five Eyes Intelligence for a few years. So they're after me. And people like, you got to be careful. I was like, well, either I stand up or let this devious stuff happen. And I'm not going to allow it to happen. I'm going to do something, fight to stop it.
I mean, once you're targeted, you have to keep going.
Right, and I'm from these bloodlines. Me and Jonah and his mother Tammy come from the same bloodline, the House of Plantagenet. It's the House of York. So you got the Clan Sinclair. Everybody's probably heard about this. But then you got the bloodline of Jesus. Bloodline of Jesus connects to France. You know, so you got Merovingian, or however you say it, and supposedly the bloodline of Jesus.
Yeah.
So you got, and then you got the Illuminati bloodlines on top of these ones that are controlling the world. You got the House of Farneys, you got many different ones. But
Let me interrupt you, Jay. Let me interrupt you, Jay. Frisco chick, let me tell you, this person here, Jaye Juliano, is a proven fact. The White House actually recognized her for her topic about her exposing certain individuals with pedophilia and child predatorship, even when we was doing the combat human trafficking. So you cannot just say that you don't know what she's talking about, or we don't know what we're talking about, because we do know what we're talking about. And if you want to observe, that's you guys. That's your God-given ability, and that's your freedom of choice to do that. But I'm telling you, this person here is
her research.
Yeah, I know exactly. I mean,
like I said, I really don't. Like, I'm gonna say this: I really don't give a shit who don't like what I'm saying. I'm very unapologetic, and you can subscribe all you want, but I back up my research. Yes, President Trump actually recognized my work. Somebody from the POTUS White House press team liked me in a tweet that I was tagged in. I was like, wow. And somebody's like, that's not a big deal. I said, that is a very big deal, because word of mouth goes around, oh, this person. So yeah, it is a big deal in the whistleblower world when you get recognized by the most powerful man in America.
Well, that's how it works with all politics. I mean, that's the only thing way anything gets done is by those little hints.
These trolls don't want to accept that we're all very well known and very well respected in a lot of different circles outside of their true stalking communities.
It seems like some of them are bothered by the fact that I'm talking about Jonah. I don't care. Did Brian Sullivan send you trolls in?
Well, here's the thing about it. People don't recognize this. You know, child pedophilia and predators, they have their own symbols, but so does the good guys. You know, if there's a certain thing, there's certain people that watches the likes, especially in politicians with political. They'll watch the likes, and if a politician likes something, or especially if the White House likes it, then and it's the main White House, the going doing it, that is a sign and symbol just for them to go and like it. I mean, because they're on to something, and that barely ever happens.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I don't know where Jay went, and I don't know where Deborah went earlier, but I don't know. Do you want to wrap it up here?
Well, I asked them if they were coming back in.
Yeah, go talk to him. I just don't want to drag it on too long, because then you can't.
Exactly. I don't want no 2 hours, man. I mean, because this is hard enough. If we need to find something to go through and to record it, that's awesome. I am looking more into the Florida thing. I'm doing some stuff with Brian Laundrie stuff down here, actually, and I'm not going to go into that, but I'll talk to you more about it later, Xander. And I think it's going to tie into some other things too. So I think everybody's understanding what's going on now, and you can see it happening day by day. Jaye Juliano was right about what she said about the CNN president stepping down, and she called it right before it even happened. So, that leads me to believe that, especially with everything I've else heard about it and looked into it, she is an awesome person, and she knows what she's talking about. And Lord have mercy, there's Deborah.
There you are.
Oh, I was just typing her. Okay.
And before everything, guys, I'm going to go ahead and get off here. I'm going to let you guys have it. I appreciate each and every one of you guys for coming out and checking out Predator Hunter Nation, Operation Rescue Our Children. And I thank our guest, Deborah, and I thank Jay for coming out again and being on panel. And I'm going to let you guys. I'm going to let you guys have this. Thank you, guys. Thank you all.
Bye, Ernie. Thank you.
Hey, Tina wanted you to chat about the Brian Laundrie thing real quick.
Oh, okay. Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you for now. Yeah,
because that's kind of how we
continues.
Okay,
together.
I'm having such bad internet connection.
Yeah.
But no. So after that day when I told you, I know I gave Brian Laundrie the food, and I called the FBI, Bullhorn Betty and Jonathan Lee Riches. They're locals. They were the protesters there.
Right.
We had a mutual friend that asked me where I seen him and stuff, and I kind of knew what was going on. I went back up to that shopping center, and there was a cut, the river, which actually goes into the Myahatchee Creek Reserve. And anyways, I found like a box of hair dye there. I found a bunch of Red Bull cans, all this stuff. I gave some of the stuff that I found to a friend of mine that's a retired police officer, and he sent it to a lab. But anyways, those Bullhorn Betty showed up, and I was like, who is this crazy lady? But they were trying to find him because, you know, there was a big reward. And I had already talked to the FBI, and at the time they didn't want me to talk to anybody about, you know, what happened. And then when they found him, one of the agents called me and said, I wanted you to know we found him and he was mauled by an animal and all this stuff. I was like, okay, number one, when did he die? So far, they're not telling anybody that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what day did he die? And I still, like, in my mind for a little while, I was like, there's no way, you know, like I'm thinking he's not dead. So I sent him this Instagram letter, like a note saying who I was. And, you know,
I'm back. Sorry, guys. I'm back.
That's okay.
Let's do things the right way, etc. And then the FBI shuts down his Instagram 2 days later. I mean, so there's been a lot of cover up. Like even our police department here, the city has been hacked twice. They've been hacked by their phones and they've been hacked by their emails.
There's a lot of cover up around who he is. I mean, you know, their family money.
Yeah, a lot of money.
Bunnyranch.com. That was like some serious kiddie porn stuff.
Oh, yeah.
He had a family member that is this crazy, like, military branch of they, you know, they make the invisible cloaking stuff, drones.
Oh,
and, you know, all kinds of high tech military surveillance and weaponry kind of stuff.
A lot of unmanned planes.
Yeah, unmanned plane.
Stuff like that.
Yeah, if you look
wow.
at the company that his uncle has, it all has to do with that. So who are these people? Was it a grandfather?
I believe so, yeah.
No, I don't think it was a grandfather.
Okay.
Maybe it was a grandfather.
I was surprised to find that at all, though, you know?
Yeah.
Well, my mother and I, we saw the laundries like 2 weeks after that in Carrabba's. You know, we live in a small community. Like I even met Gabby a couple times. She was a sweet girl. And I knew him. I thought he was weird. He used to always ride his bike around and just look weird, you know, because he didn't like have no emotion. But we saw them in Carrabba's, and I said to my mom, I go, oh my God, that's Brian Laundrie's parents sitting back there. I said, I'm going to say something. So I go out, I'm acting like I'm getting my jacket out of the car. I come back in and I said, oh, hey, I know you. And his dad looked at me and he had tears in his eyes. And the mom looked like she was going to snap on somebody. And I just said, are you guys okay? And he said, yeah. I said, okay, well, God bless. But the day that I saw Brian, he had on a jacket that his father had in the beginning of the investigation. It was black with blue on it. And I've tried to look everywhere in past videos. I can't find the video anymore. But he had on the same jacket that his father had. And this guy had a very, very expensive mountain bike. You know, it's not your typical homeless person that I see around here.
Yeah.
So do you think he was always there, or that he went to North Carolina and Tennessee area?
Well, you know, here's the thing. And without anybody really seeing his hand for that tattoo, I think there's a lot of people that look like him. But hey, there's no doubt in my mind, as long as he was gone, he could have been there and then decided to come back. Maybe he thought about, oh, I might turn myself in, or you know, whatever the case may be. But I don't know. I mean, unless it was some kind of sicko just pretending. And why would you do that? I mean, if half the country's looking for you, you know what I mean?
Well, their travel log from when they, went together, they came through Tennessee around the time that Summer went missing. So
They came through
kind of
Rogersville.
weird,
Rogersville itself, yeah, because they went straight up.
They went straight through Rogersville.
What is that? 160 something.
Buzzards
Wow.
Roost.
Yeah.
Buzzards Roost
Well,
was on their travel log.
That was over there, but
I didn't know that.
yeah, they went through a couple of different Buzzards Roosts, and then there's a Buzzards Roost, like 5 miles from us, and that's where we were looking in Hartford. But it seemed like he was retracing his steps, but also going to places that had similar names or similarities to other places that they had been together.
He also was an aunt, wasn't it, in Kingsport?
I don't remember that.
It's somewhere near,
Maybe.
a relative that lives very near.
Yeah, like his uncle.
It's strange.
An uncle or somebody?
Yeah, I think it was his aunt. I think her name was Tara.
Oh.
I haven't thought about this stuff in so long.
I haven't thought about it. It's just all recall because we really were, trying to figure out what was going on because there's so much fake stuff. You don't even know.
Oh, we searched for
it's so hard.
Long time. Probably like 2 weeks straight, just straight searching. I've got so much video.
Really?
Yeah,
well, I remember when I first heard about it. I have, friends that are retired from the government and stuff. And, at first they were wondering if they had a serial killer. That's why they had to find the gun because of those 2 other girls that they found dead out in Moab.
We totally think.
And so then when Gabby's autopsy came back, that's when.
No, you're frozen now.
Yeah, somebody turned you to stone.
Yeah.
Well.
Wow.
Now she's back.
I'm probably.
Yeah, the reception's kind of like leery.
Isn't it weird?
Right. Well, you have me and her on, so we must be doing something right if they're kind of screwing with the reception.
It's only when we have important things to talk about. Which is always.
They'll let any of these YouTubers come on here and it'd be just as clear as a bell.
Yeah.
But
I'm never gonna be quiet about what I'm never gonna be quiet about what happened to Tammy. So I don't care if any trolls are offended. I really don't care. I'm unapologetic, and that's the way I'm gonna be. We want to find Jonah, and we want him back with his family. So if you don't like that, too bad.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
And
Look, somebody
this
was
exposes something much bigger that they're all obsessed with Summer Wells, but it may even tie into that. If you follow.
Once you find Summer and Jonah, like a whole crap load of missing kids will be found.
Yep, exactly.
These 2, Jonah has blonde hair, blue eyes. Summer has blonde hair and blue eyes. The elites want children with blonde hair and blue eyes. Did Summer have a prosthetic gift? Did she come from these bloodlines, the royal bloodlines? So that could be a possibility that she had a prosthetic gift. She came from these bloodlines, and that's why they wanted Summer.
Right.
So the bloodlines play a crucial part. Like I said, I'm targeted from childhood because I'm from these royal bloodlines.
Mm-hmm.
So people that aren't from the bloodlines will never understand that. Yeah. You're targeted constantly. The CIA sends people to harass you. Yep. They send their trolls, Five Eyes intelligence. You're constantly looking over your shoulder,
Yep. Yeah, and unless you're targeted, you won't know. Like
my friend Michelle in the comment section, she's a targeted individual. She is an MK Ultra super soldier, a survivor MK Ultra programming. So she is the only survivor MK Ultra programming Project Monarch that actually the program has the evidence to lock many people up.
Yeah, I've actually talked to her on the phone, and she as soon as she gets settled where she's at, we're gonna come on probably in about a week now because she said 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Oh,
Right. So hers is more extensive than Jonah's case, so she'll need the notes and stuff because it's going to be more detail. But yeah, she made Gil Garcetti lose a case. So that's a big thing. And Gil Garcetti is up on the food chain with the snuff films. Yes. Yes. Snuff film. And Vacancy was about her, my friend Michelle, in the comment section that it's about a snuff film, and that was about her and her husband. So that movie was made off of my friend, and they had the actress Kate, I can't remember her name, Vacancy. So yeah.
Yeah.
Have you heard of Katie Groves? She's got a YouTube.
I have. She talked about the Pizzagate stuff.
What do
The
you think?
CIA has this underground snuff ring.
A lot of stuff.
And
She talks about
and it's
she was
most
in-
horrific
she
stuff
was
you
in-
can listen to.
Sam's Uncle what snuff?
Uncle Sam's snuff film, and it's right on Fort Hood base. It's right connected to the Fort Hood.
Yep, right
In
in
the
Texas.
CIA, it's underground. It basically, in metaphor terms, it's where they do ritual sacrifice of kids.
Right.
You know, because people don't think snuff films are real. They are. Children are murdered on these snuff films, and so are people. So people need to understand that this Uncle Sam's snuff film is very real. The CIA, like I said, runs everything. They run the child trafficking rings. They run it all. And this is why people need to understand the CIA was never here to protect the American people. Never.
And we will post comments later where you can find this information for that snuff ring. And this girl, we believe her. She does lives, and she's a survivor. She grew up on.
She was the only one that survived the snuff ring.
She did. She grew up.
I'll link her thing here.
And
so she's going to be traumatized with the stuff that people need to understand, like the artwork that Podesta had. We're not even going to describe what it is, but it's horrific. And then I think it's Kim Noble or something. You've seen all that disgusting artwork hanging up Comet Ping Pong. That lady is a ritual abuse survivor of MK Ultra programmer. So she has the multiple personalities they did, which is that is the same thing as that. Did is multiple personalities. So she draws up the pictures, all the stuff that she's seen in those rituals. These things are very real. And the MK Ultra, the Super Soldier program with the MK Ultra program with the CIA is very real. They have brain chips. So this is a very real thing.
Yeah, I know. People try to laugh and act like.
No, my friend's a prime example in the comment section. She found a microchip, like a thing, and popped it out of the back of her leg. She showed me the picture.
Yeah.
So when they implant these in people's brain, and it's not it's voice to skull, and they have a chip in the back of the brain. So if they want a mass shooter, they'll activate that chip that they put in the brain of the super soldier. And these are super soldiers that are committing the school shootings. This thing is very real.
Oh yeah, and you can find the scientists that were part of the development of it bragging about how they can turn a law-abiding citizen,
remote control viewing, and all that stuff.
And these technologies have to end, and people need to realize that they're very real, and people have been experimented on. And a lot of those milk carton kids turned out to be lab monkeys. And
like the milk cartons.
Talk about
and organ harvesting.
Yeah, what people need to understand is those milk cartons are child advertisement. And you know what? People need to understand this, what I'm about to say. National Center for Misexploited Children and Walmart are both tied together. Okay, Walmart has many tunnels around the United States, from Canada to California to Washington, D.C. to Boston, you name it. And these are very real. And National Center for Misexploited Children advertises children. Nobody's paying attention to that.
Right. Which
to find children, but they're advertising children. Think about this. Who runs the Amber Alert system? The Podesta Group. And Laura Silsby, the Clinton Foundation Haiti child trafficker, they run this. So it's a human traffickers like wildest thing, they love it because now they know the system is going to protect them.
What do you know about the Podesta brother? Is it Brian Podesta? Is that his name?
Yes.
That's on
Brian, there's Alex Podesta, and if you look up his artwork, it's like made out of wood, so it depicts like the ritual abuse, and they had these rabbits, and white rabbits in pedo code means human traffickers, child molester, however you're going to call it.
Yeah.
But panda eyes, what people need to realize is ritual abuse. Children are sodomized, raped, and that's why they call it panda eyes. If you look at James Alefontis, Come Panda or something like that, he's mocking ritual abuse survivors. If you look at Bill Gates, he's mocking ritual abuse survivors of that. Bill Gates and all of them commit crimes against children. Don't think Bill Gates is not a disgusting person that commits sacrifices against children, because he's part of the same sick club as Jeffrey Epstein, and stuff like that. They're all part of it.
In the Summer Wells thing, that's all about pandas.
Yeah, like that church is a satanic cult. I don't care what anybody says. The SDA church probably has CIA operatives, posing as some church members, so they get the CIA running the child trafficking out of that church.
Yep.
And this is not to say that, but think about that. Expand your thinking. People wake up, and unfortunately, people are so ignorant that it's still going to continue to happen. Like I said, stop mass posting pictures of your children for a very good reason, because child exploitation, the child grooming is very real. And Facebook has Kids Messenger. That's exactly how these predators are grooming your kids, through that Kids Messenger. Yeah. You need to be involved in your kid's life. Don't be your kid's friend. Be your kid's parent. You have to be involved in your kid's life.
I mean,
seriously.
We were involved in our kid's life, and she still got an attempted grooming, and it was working. And we didn't realize it because they were both being so fake, and she was teaching our daughter how to be fake. And
they're sneaky as fuck.
And they're all about talking other kids into getting emancipated. Every single one of them talk about emancipated. You can get emancipated. And then, they sit there and feed them BS about, oh, I can't believe your mom did that to you or said that to you or blah, blah, blah. You should get emancipated. And then they just build this, this psyche.
They build this facade, but parents, when you go to your meetings for your kids' school, you got to be like that with your kids. Don't give them no privacy in your home, period.
Right.
Yeah, people are afraid, they'll be mad. I don't care. You have to put parental controls on your kids' cell phone and stuff. You have to. This is a big epidemic. This is a bigger thing than human trafficking, the child grooming, child exploitation, human trafficking, drug trafficking. They all connect together.
Yeah,
they all connect together.
Absolutely.
And, just a couple days ago, I tried to turn into Facebook some child trafficking sites that were on there, and I got a message back that this doesn't go against their
community standards.
Yeah. And I mean, I sent it to a bunch of places. I mean, it's nasty. And they're not doing nothing.
We found those all the time when, we first started exploring the Podesta emails. We were finding it so much more. I think that they have kind of toned it down some, because, they were everywhere. And it was obvious they were either selling kids or they were selling kid porn. There was something going on there. And we had success when we would take, the information over to a group, and then we would bomb Facebook with complaints. But what we had to do really to get it to be effective is we would have to go to the pictures, and then we would have to report commenters. And we had to report each one. Like reporting the group as a whole, we never had success taking them down. But when we would go and we would report not only the pictures themselves, but the weird, gross comments, then we were able to shut whole groups down that way. So that's a good tip.
Thank you.
If you have groups that would participate.
Like Phil Murphy, he's like, oh, I read the email. Some of the stuff was disgusting. They were talking about the spirit cooking. People asked me what that is. That's cannibalism. They're normalizing this stuff. Mm-hmm. Yes, and Phil Murphy, oh my God. he was writing from his wife's email, and he's saying, I can't wait to have a late sleepover. They're talking about the spirit cooking. Like, pay attention to certain stuff. Like, pay attention to really what they're talking about in the code that they use.
Yep. The signs and the symbols, it's all there. If you learn to speak them, you'll read their language.
Yep.
Well,
you know what? Facebook has a trapdoor to the dark Facebook. And yeah, this is absolutely correct. You know, Facebook runs human trafficking because like I mentioned on the first live that we did, Jonah was sold into human trafficking with nude photos, thousands of them, thousands from Australia, and he was sold into human trafficking. This is why I'm telling you, parents, please stop mass posting pictures of your children, because all a human trafficker has to do is send you a friend request, and they're in like that. Now they have pictures of your kids. They put it on the dark web. They put it on child porn sites. Now they can bet money. Stop putting your location of your kid's school, all that stuff, because next time a human trafficker, just because of that, can go in there, snatch up your kid, and you're not even going to know what's happening.
That's right.
So I'm just saying, it's not even sounding mean. I'm just saying this because this is very crucial.
No, it's valuable.
I hear survivor stories all the time, firsthand, and they're horrific, but I have to listen to them because it's my job to do that. I have to listen to their stories. So I advocate for real human trafficking survivors. One of my friends actually was trafficked in foster care from the UK into the United States. So she's from the UK, but she's American now, and her identity is so messed up. In the state of Florida, so there was adult adoption. So I'm still learning what the adult adoption is in the state of Florida. But this is very real. People just got to wake up and open up their eyes.
Yep, absolutely.
You know, there's going to probably be some people offended when they come in the comment section, but it's that they're used to hearing, you know, the MK Ultra CIA Mockingbird thing. So now they're waking up and it's like they can't bear it, but it's a process. We were all like that one time, brainwashed, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, there's different levels of trolls, though. Let's just say that. Some are paid.
You're always going to get that. I mean, you're doing something. If you get trolls, you're automatically doing something right.
I know, you're doing something right.
Jay, do you have a YouTube channel, at all that you want to link here to leave for people?
I have to create one. Like you told me that I should create one. I have to get it set up and stuff like that. And, you know, I would love to have survivors come on there and interview with me because it's important. You know, my friend Michelle is another good one to have on here because, like I said, her story is extensive, you know, and she's somebody you want to listen to.
Oh, absolutely. I
Send
think
me that.
you and her are going to do a talk together, and I think that's soon. So
I'm going to definitely create a YouTube, and I'm going to need help how to do the video thing like you do on YouTube thing, but I'll learn about that anyways.
Yeah. Well,
we learned just now.
Send us her YouTube channel, and I'll put it in the comments here or the description.
I'll have to do that. I'll probably do it sometime this week or this weekend. But like I said, hi to everybody in the audience. Mm-hmm. I'm glad that they're actually listening because
people really enjoyed this a lot.
Oh yeah,
right. And I look forward to be on a more lives with you guys. So now the masses can see the work that I've done. Yeah, people don't realize when you're a whistleblower and a journalist and you're getting recognized by the White House, that's a big deal in the whistleblower world.
Deal.
That's a
Yeah.
big. Who knows? It could have been Pompeo. It could have been Eric Prince. It could have been whoever it was at the White House, and you don't know. They'd be like, you have to follow this person, so word of mouth travels around.
Eric Prince. We'll have to talk about him later. Keep
Yeah,
that
who knows? But I just
on your
added
list.
him in for like a prime example. You don't know who sees your work. That's why you always have to be professional, because you never know who sees your work and be like, I like your work, I want to hire you. You never know. So you have to be professional at all times with the type of work you do.
Right.
All right. Well, it's been awesome talking to you.
Yeah.
And
what happened to Deborah? Where are
no,
you?
she's in and out.
She has bad signal. She's in
Yeah, I was skipping, but
goodbye
it's the
earlier, and then she was able
reception
to get
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, surprisingly, I have good reception. I said, surprisingly, this thing's gonna work, and it did. I said, yes.
We'll reschedule another one soon, because I mean, we all have so much to talk about, and we all have so much to offer people. And you know,
Right. I have
and
one
the
question
people that are
before we go.
watching
Have you ever heard of Hurtcore or something?
Hurtcore? No.
It's something that has to do with the snuff films, like the stuff that, like the Uncle Sam type stuff.
Okay.
So it was mentioned in the comment section. I didn't know if you guys knew, but it's almost like the Uncle Sam snuff film.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I'm very much aware of the Uncle Sam Snuff Club stuff, and that stuff is horrible. Like, I feel for that Katie. She's Dylan now. You know, she's got identity. No, it isn't.
That's her boyfriend, she said.
Are you sure?
That's what she said on there.
I think she has identity like crises, but you know, she's a perfect example of what a fractured, like.
Yeah, and it's hard to deprogram, but you can. But it's all about like my friend deprogrammed, and it takes a long time for recovery. So if you are a survivor, they put my Facebook page in the comment section. I would love to hear your story. Please contact me. I would love to advocate for you, like, you know, and inbox me on my media page, and I would like to hear the survivor stories.
Cool. Absolutely. And, you know, that's what we're building this platform for too, you know, because we all need to start talking. And secrecy has been the greatest tool for them to flourish and thrive in this kind of business, you know? So anyways, but it's always good talking to you. And, you know,
I know. I didn't mind all the shuffling in the background. I said, hey, it happens.
It happens. It does. Yeah. So, and we're all getting used to this and learning how to use it. Xander was studying it today. And if you have like little videos or screenshots or anything like that, we can like put them up during the next.
I have to send you guys the Justin Trudeau with the Eva grasshopper, so you guys can post it. So you guys can post it. It's funny. So wow, I really made him look like the grasshopper. Wow.
That's great. Memes kill them. The power of meme is
exactly. Exactly.
All right. Well, you have a good night. And thank you for coming.
All right. Good night, guys.
Wherever you are. We're going to talk to you again soon.
It was good talking
to you
guys.
Yeah, it was great talking to you. Bye-bye.
See you later.
Bye-bye.